What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a special edition of the Center Beacon. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of what this video is about, I want to tell you about my upcoming June giveaways. In the month of June, starting with this video right here, I am going to be giving away a total of 150 Overdrive Modules. There will be 3 videos in June. Each one is a giveaway. Each one, I will give away 50 Overdrive Modules for a total of 150. I'm doing Overdrive units because I talked to some members of the community and was trying to find out what you guys needed, what you wanted. That seemed to be overwhelmingly the most popular thing requested. So that's what I asked for, that's what they gave me, and you're getting it. So how do you play? How do you win? Go to the description in each video for the month of June. Read through all the details there. I will put all the rules, all the specifications, whatever it is you have to do, it's not much, trust me, in order to win and be eligible for prizes. Let me stress, you have to follow all the rules. If you miss one here or there, I can't award you. So please read them carefully, follow them to the letter, and you will have a chance at winning one of 50 prizes per video for a total of 150 from my channel over the course of the month of June. And wait just a minute, don't order yet, there's more. Also during the month of June, there will be another War Robots YouTuber doing a giveaway concurrently to my own. I don't have details on that yet, but when I do, I'll give them to you, so stay tuned for those as well. Now, let's get on with this video and get you guys winning some prizes. Now, quickly as we get going here, I would like to thank my buddies at 1000 Skulls Clan on the Android platform, Mixie, Phenom, Tuco, and Herbs. Thanks very much for their help in doing some of the testing and shooting some of the footage for this video. You guys are awesome, and thanks for letting me shoot you in the face. All right, let's take a look at the reason we're all here. We're going to take a look at the Tempest Behemoth Overdrive build. On board, I've got my good friend Basil Lapat. He is from England, I think, or maybe France, I'm not sure. We got the skills here. Pretty much I put every skill on here that aids me in increasing damage. I've got Sharpshooter, Speed Shooter, Gunsmith Tempest, Gunsmith for the Behemoth. All of the damage skills, plus mechanic, and remind me, we'll talk about mechanic later on this build. You can see the modules there. We've got the new Overdrive unit, 25% damage when maxed out at level 6 per module. So with 3 of them, you're going to get 75% damage once you hit the threshold for damage, and you'll see that in the clips to come. What that looks like with 3 of them, the more modules you have, the higher that stacks, the sooner you reach your threshold to begin getting your extra damage. We have also equipped lockdown ammo on here. The theory being just that I'm primarily using this to try to see if I can keep Mings at bay, or even destroy Ao Mings, and I want to lock them down so they can't move so me and my buddies can basically crush them. So that's the build that we're looking at here. We're going to go into some testing. Here we are in a custom match. My buddy Phenom down there in the Nightingale is going to chip away at my health so I reach the threshold, but he's got to be careful because if he totally freezes me, he's going to blow one of my guns off. Okay, so now we got to do this all over. Son of a... Here we are in a custom match. My buddy Phenom down there in the Nightingale is going to very carefully chip away at my health until I can reach the threshold where my Overdrive units activate and give me my 75% damage. For the purposes of testing, as well as getting the most out of a build like this, where you're going to kind of sit back at 700 to 800 meters and chip away at the other team's Titans or what have you, you're going to want to pay attention to where that gray bar is on your health bar. You can see my 2 little arrows right there. I've gotten the gray bar just below the threshold for the amount of Overdrive units that I have. If you have 3, you can see it kind of has taken up 2/3 of my health bar. So that gray portion, when you start taking damage, needs to be below that threshold. And the reason for that is if you're running mechanic or if someone heals you and you heal the green past your threshold, past those arrows, then you will lose your bonus damage and you're kind of defeating the purpose of what you're doing. Okay, so that first test was pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Maxed Ao Ming, no healing. You saw what we did to that, kind of a... These are all perfect world scenarios, obviously. We're going to get into some actual combat footage later in the video, but first I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like with ideal settings. You see my buddy Phenom, he's gotten pretty good at freezing me there without blowing my weapons off. There's my other buddy Herbie thawing me out so I can start shooting my buddy Nixie over there. Maxed Ao Ming, he's running 3 antimatter reactors and a plated armor, I believe. He's fully maxed. Very powerful Ao Ming. We're going to see how long it takes me to destroy him while he's healing as much as he possibly can. Two other quick things to mention here for this video is we're not running any boosters in this testing environment. So you're leaving 15% damage off the table, 5% personal and then 2% per person additionally in your squad for a total of 15%. You're leaving that out of this equation. So in a live game when a full squad and everybody's running damage boosters, this is going to be a lot more powerful. I'm going to start chipping away at Mixie's health here. He's going to actively heal as much as he possibly can. The other thing to take note of too is how do you tell if someone's running these or not? You can't really see it unless they're visually active. You can see flames kind of shooting out of my robot. Little jets of flame shooting out here and there. That's one visual cue that someone is actively running overdrive and has engaged the overdrives. And then the other one is there should be a little icon that looks like they're taking damage but also kind of exploding more damage at the same time. That little icon should be over their head. You can see I've almost got Mixie down here despite the fact that he got several heals in. And there he goes. Roughly 2.5 full magazines to get that kill. Alright, who wants to see what this thing will do against a max Arthur? I do. We're going to test it against Arthurs. I got 2 Arthurs over there. My buddy Tuco the Rat is a fully maxed Arthur. I believe he is running 2 antimatter reactors and 2 plated armors. And then Phenom over there, who is shooting me with lightning at the moment. He is kind of like a half-maxed Arthur. I can't remember where he's at as far as levels go, but he's an example of what you might see in a match at about mid-level. This is mostly just for scientific purposes. You're rarely going to get the opportunity to just beat on an Arthur shield, and he's just going to let you do it. I just thought I'd see how many magazines it takes to get this done. Gives you an idea of the kind of power you're dealing with here. What I ultimately found during the course of making this video was that this is a really powerful build, but exceptionally situational. Very difficult to reach the damage threshold on your bot to activate your overdrives to actually take advantage of that 75% damage. Very difficult to do in live matches. But if you can make it work for you, then here's your example of exactly what it's capable of. Thermonuclear reactors might be more effective for you, just because you're going to be getting that damage all the time from the start of the game. It takes a very special set of circumstances, and most likely playing in a squad, to really fully take advantage of this build. And we'll see that in the clips to come here. I've got a couple combat clips coming up. And in one, you can kind of see where it sort of works. And then in the other clip, a very rare example of how it worked exceptionally well. But I was really curious to see how powerful a build this could be with the overdrives on this behemoth. And it is really powerful. You can see how I've ripped his shields off there. Almost got the bot fully trashed. So exceptionally powerful, incredibly situational though. And there it is, there's the first one. That was a fully maxed Arthur, tore the shields off, killed the bot. And now we're going to spend some time shooting at my buddy here, Phenom. He's not fully maxed, but a good example of what you might see in a solo match. I don't recommend this build for solo play. I don't recommend solo play, period. I recommend squad play. You're definitely going to kind of need your buddies to protect you a little bit if you really want to sit back in this thing and basically do area denial, keep Mings at bay, lock Mings down. Let's see how long this takes here. reload. The reload in a live match takes forever. That 10 seconds is like an eternity. There goes the shield. Now we're getting into the meat of his bot. You can see they almost got him in 2 full mags. And that is it. That's your scientific dirt test on what 3 maxed overdrives on a maxed Tempest Behemoth will do to Arthurs, both fully maxed and sort of half-leveled. That's great, but how's it do in a live match? That's what we're going to take a look at next. Give you guys a couple of clips of live gameplay footage and how well I was able to do with this thing. Alright, a very brief clip here of the actual ironic disadvantage of mechanic. You can see I've gotten below the threshold there thanks to some damage from the red team. But my mechanic ability is healing me back past the threshold and actually disabling my overdrive damage. Next up is the textbook definition of things going sideways in a hurry. You can see I gained my threshold from that Ming over there, but he's chewing me up with those Dragoons. And not only do I go way below my threshold and almost die, but he actually rips one of the Tempests right off the top of my bot. Now I'm trying to use my buddy in the Arthur there for cover, but at this point I'm really kind of screwed, and he's going to take me out because he's not going to sit there and let me continue to dish damage on him like that. This clip is an example of being fairly successful with this build in just trying to sneak around, get enough damage to activate the threshold, but not get your face ripped off at the same time. So for being a husky bot, the Behemoth is fairly nimble, surprisingly. So I'm able to get damage. I'm able to get below that threshold and then just kind of like escape and evade. And then go climb up to this position up here where I can sort of get a good field of fire on the enemy. And actually kind of do what I want to do with this bot, which is support my teammates, suppress Titans, kill Mings. And we're going to get into that right up here. We're going to start in on that guy up there. I've got my threshold. You can see my ability. I'm not going to heal past my threshold, so it all kind of worked perfect in this clip. Going to change my firing position here in a second. Get up into the battle here a little bit deeper. And just kind of show you some of the damage this thing can do. Basically going to get my little window to the world there in between those 2 pieces of cover and just hit anything and everything that's in the way there. I'm going to tag up Arthurs. I'm going to shoot regular bots. Taking shields off. Really dishing a lot of damage. The 2 mitigating factors to this build that are not going to get you what you want to do or where you want to go with this thing are the reload time, 10 seconds. It's like forever. And it's so tricky to hit that threshold. Again, that's 3 maxed overdrive units. You can see the arrows on my health bar. Super tricky to get that right below there, but without either losing a weapon or losing your entire bot. If I were going to run this build as a mainstay in my hangar, I would probably go with 3 thermonuclear reactors. 30% damage versus 75 in this case. But you're getting it from the jump. So the moment you drop, you can kind of find a good spot, hang back, and then you don't have to worry about getting enough damage, but not so much that you lose your robot. Alright, this next clip is the one that I really wanted to show you guys. I think this is the best example of where this build can really shine. It is highly situational, like I mentioned before, but sometimes in a battle, a situational bot is really something that can turn the tide. You might not use it, in 5 or 6 games in a row, but a game like this with a lot of plasma Mings, a lot of Mings up in the air, can really come in handy. Now, as you can see here, I almost get my face completely burned off. I think that was an Ember Falcon, and I didn't realize he had hung his embers over the top of that little center thing there and was just completely melting my face. Then I almost get taken out by like a Viper Ao Jun, but managed to hang on to all my guns, fortunately, so it didn't completely ruin this clip. But basically, I just go to work in this. Right map, right squad. This team on the other side of the map here gave us a hell of a fight. The Titans started to come out. So I felt like this build really kind of came through. It helped me sort of keep their Titans from pushing in too close. I'm being very cognizant of range. Obviously, a Plasma Ming can absolutely obliterate me in seconds, even if I had all of my hit points, which I only have about roughly a little more than half right now. My buddy helped me out, gave me some heals, topped me up. I'm beneath my threshold for the overdrives, and I'm getting 75% damage on top of full damage boosters in this squad. So that's another 15%. So every little bit that I'm chipping away at somebody is really doing quite a lot of damage, giving him something to think about. He's either going to get down, he's going to get behind cover, he can't close in. And again, I'm not trying to sell this build like, oh, you have to have this in your hangar. You know, I don't do those videos where like, 10 things you've got to have in your hangar or die without them. It's not necessarily that. It's super situational, but I've had a lot of matches, especially in the last several weeks, where we have absolutely gotten outranged by Plasma Mings. And I would have loved to have had this build with the overdrives in my hangar just to drop it, maybe even before I go to my Titan, just to do some damage, push these guys back, not let them control the map, which Plasma Mings are so good at doing. And it allows my teammates, as you can see on the left and the right, to do a lot of work in this. A lot of synergy here with me keeping these guys at bay, and then you can see the Titans on the left and right pushing up, and giving the other team's Titans something to really be concerned about. On this particular setup here, you'll notice I switched my active module to phase shift. Comes in really handy when one of these Mings, they're so fast they close the gap on you, and it doesn't take a lot to start to deal a lot of damage. So I can use phase. It buys me that extra second or two that I need to either get behind cover or get out of their range. Honestly, I'd probably recommend phase shift more so than even the lockdown, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the lockdown only lasts 5 seconds. And it just feels to me like it's more like 4.7 seconds. It's really not a lot that they're locked down. You can see there went the phase. Probably didn't need it, but it's there if you do. So that's probably the active module that you want to run. Yeah, you could do quantum, absolutely. This thing hitting little bots, you're going to miss a lot. It's the big fat bots like the Titans that are really going to suffer from all of these ballistic projectiles hitting them. The small bots can kind of duck and dodge a lot of this stuff. So you could do quantum, but I find that most effective for me, making this video, trying to put these clips together to give you guys the best possible demonstration of if you want to put this build together yourself, this is what it's going to look like for you. I liked phase shift. Alright, that's about it for this video. That is the best demonstration that I could give you guys. I hope that was helpful. Don't forget about the giveaway on this video. I'm giving away 50 overdrive units randomly. Full details on how to take part in that will be in the description of this video. I'll also be giving away more overdrive units over the course of 2 more subsequent videos in the month of June. Further, I will have a Were Robots YouTube partner. He will also be giving away a total of 150 overdrive units throughout the month of June, and his videos will probably pop up around the same time as mine. I'll put a link to his channel and his videos in the description of mine. He'll do the same for me, and you guys will have the chance to win one of 300 overdrive units in total. And as always, I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.